Hello there, and welcome to 100 Facts Before Sleep. Tonight, we drift into the ancient and extraordinary world of gemstones, the deep memory of our planet, written in crystal and light. Long before the first life formed or mountains had names, the Earth was already alive, reshaping itself in silence. Continents wandered, volcanoes erupted, and deep in the mantle, under immense pressure, the slow, patient work of creation began. The quiet, crystalline structures beneath you are ancient beyond imagination. And yet, new crystals are still forming, still growing, still waiting. This is the story of the gemstone. A story of fire and pressure, of creation and time, of a beauty that takes millions of years to unfold. Within every diamond, within every emerald, there are whispers of ancient volcanoes, forgotten oceans, and the slow, deep heartbeat of the Earth. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here, too, one sleepy soul at a time. For now, just breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy, and let this ancient, crystalline world cradle your thoughts. Let's begin. A gemstone is not just a beautiful object. It is a tiny, perfect, and nearly indestructible piece of our planet's history. A silent letter from the deep Earth, holding 1 billion years of pressure in its perfect, crystal form. Fact 1. A gemstone is a mineral crystal that, through a rare combination of natural processes, has achieved exceptional beauty, durability, and rarity. While thousands of minerals exist within the Earth's crust, only a relative handful, perhaps less than 100, possess the qualities that allow us to call them precious. They are the Earth's most resilient form of beauty, born in darkness and defined by their unique ability to capture and return the light. Fact 2. Gemstones are formed in 3 primary ways, each a different story of geologic time. Most are born in fire, crystallizing from cooling magma deep within the Earth's mantle or crust. We call these igneous gems. Others are metamorphic, reformed by immense heat and pressure when continents collide, slowly altering their crystal structure over millions of years. And finally, some are sedimentary, formed in water as minerals precipitate out of a solution, layer by patient layer. Fact 3. The magic of a gemstone is held in its crystal lattice. A crystal is not just a beautiful shape, it is a state of near-perfect internal order. Imagine atoms stacking themselves one by one in an absolutely precise, repeating, 3-dimensional pattern. This perfect internal architecture, this atomic symmetry, is what gives a gem its strength, its clarity, and the unique way it bends and splits light. It is a tiny cathedral of order, built by nature in perfect silence. Fact 4. The diamond is a whisper from the Earth's deep mantle. Contrary to old beliefs, diamonds are not formed from compressed coal. They are born much, much deeper, over 100 miles beneath the surface. Here, in a specific layer of the mantle, carbon atoms are subjected to pressures 50,000 times greater than at the surface and temperatures exceeding 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Over billions of years, this pressure and heat forces the carbon atoms into the strongest, most stable bond in nature, creating the diamond. They are ancient, 1 billion years old or more, before they are ever brought to the surface by rare, deep-source volcanic eruptions. Fact 5. Rubies and sapphires are, scientifically, the same gemstone. They are both a form of the mineral corundum, a crystal made of aluminum and oxygen. The only thing that separates them is a tiny, accidental impurity. When trace amounts of chromium replace a few aluminum atoms in the crystal lattice, the corundum absorbs all light except for red, giving us a ruby. If the impurities are iron and titanium, the crystal absorbs all light except for blue, giving us a sapphire. A single mineral family, painted in different colors by the rarest of chance. Fact 6. We measure a gemstone's resilience using the Mohs scale of hardness. This isn't a measure of toughness, or its resistance to breaking, but rather its ability to resist being scratched. The scale flows from 1, the softness of talc, to 10, the unmatched hardness of a diamond. A gem can only be scratched by a mineral that is harder than itself. A diamond, at the very top of this scale, can scratch any other substance on Earth, yet nothing but another diamond can leave a mark upon it. Fact 7. Emeralds, the deep green gems of legend, belong to a mineral family called beryl. What is so fascinating is that in its pure form, beryl is perfectly colorless. It is only when trace amounts of chromium and sometimes vanadium are present during its formation that it is gifted with that iconic, velvety green color. The very same beryl crystal, if colored by traces of iron instead of chromium, becomes the soft, sky blue gemstone we call aquamarine. Fact 8. The color of a gemstone is a story of subtraction. It is a trick of the light. When white light, which contains all the colors of the rainbow, passes into a crystal, most gems contain trace elements called chromophores. These atoms are impurities, tiny flaws in the perfect crystal, that are just the right size to absorb specific wavelengths, or colors, of that light. The color we see is not the color the gem is, but the color that is left behind, the part of the spectrum that the crystal allows to pass through and reach our eye. Fact 9. Some gems, like star sapphires or star rubies, hold a perfect, silky star within them. This phenomenon, called asterism, is not a trick of the cutting, but a beautiful and precise inclusion. The star is created by light reflecting off vast, microscopic, needle-like crystals of another mineral, often rutile, that became trapped inside the gem as it grew. These needles are aligned perfectly with the gem's internal crystal structure, and when light hits them, it reflects back in a six-rayed star, a map of the crystal's hidden architecture. Fact 10. Not all gemstones are minerals. A special few, known as organic gems, are gifts from the living world. The most famous is the pearl, which forms inside an oyster, not from a grain of sand, but as a defense against a tiny parasite, built layer by layer of nacre. Another is amber, which is not a stone at all, but the fossilized, hardened resin of ancient trees, a golden tomb that often holds within it perfect specimens of insects and plants that lived tens of millions of years ago, a tiny, transparent window into a lost world. Fact 11. The captivating fire of an opal is not a pigment, but a structural miracle. Opal is not a true crystal, but an amorphous silica, formed from a solution of silica and water that seeped into cracks in the earth. As the water evaporated, it left behind billions of microscopic, tightly packed silica spheres. When light passes through this perfect grid, it is diffracted, or split, into its component colors, creating the shimmering, moving rainbow we call play of color. It is a fossilized rainbow, captured in stone. Fact 12. There is a rare and magical gem called alexandrite, famous for its ability to change color. In sunlight, it appears as a cool, mossy green, but under the glow of incandescent light, like a candle or a lamp, it transforms into a warm, raspberry red. This phenomenon is caused by the gem's unique crystal structure, which contains traces of chromium. The crystal absorbs light in a very specific way, and because daylight and artificial light have different color spectrums, the gem reflects a different color depending on the light that illuminates it. Fact 13. The tiny flaws you see inside a gemstone are not always imperfections. They are known as inclusions, and they are a time capsule. An inclusion can be a tiny crystal of another mineral, a microscopic bubble of liquid or gas, or a delicate fracture that was trapped within the gem as it grew over millions of years. These tiny signatures are often used by gemologists to prove that a gemstone is natural, a unique fingerprint left by the earth that tells the story of its tumultuous birth. Fact 14. Peridot is one of only 2 gemstones in the world born not in the Earth's crust, but in the fiery upper mantle. This glowing olive-green gem is a variety of the mineral olivine, and it is brought to the surface in the magma of violent, deep-source volcanoes. Even more remarkably, peridot has also been found in palisite meteorites, the stony iron remnants of ancient asteroids. This means the peridot in a piece of jewelry could be a native crystal from our own world's heart, or it could be a silent visitor from the farthest reaches of our solar system. Fact 15. The name jade is actually a quiet umbrella term for 2 entirely different minerals that look remarkably similar, nephrite and jadeite. Nephrite is a more common, very tough mineral prized for its creamy, fibrous structure that was used in ancient tools and carvings. Jadeite is the rarer, more valuable, and more translucent variety, famous for the intense, almost electric imperial green that comes from traces of chromium. They are 2 different stones that share a single, ancient name. Fact 16. Lapis lazuli, the deep blue stone of pharaohs and Renaissance painters, is not a single mineral. It is a metamorphic rock, a mosaic of several different minerals fused together by heat and pressure. Its rich, celestial blue color comes from the mineral lazurite. The veins of white that ripple through it are calcite. And the beautiful flecks of gold that glitter like stars in a night sky are not gold at all, but tiny crystals of pyrite, also known as fool's gold. Fact 17. Tourmaline is often called the rainbow gemstone because it has the widest color range of any mineral on Earth. Its crystal structure is extraordinarily complex, a long prism that can easily accommodate a huge variety of chemical elements. Traces of iron can make it black or blue, manganese can make it pink or red, and chromium can make it green. Sometimes, these different elements are present in different parts of the same crystal as it grows, creating bicolored or tricolored gems, like the famous watermelon tourmaline, with its green skin and pink heart. Fact 18. Tanzanite, a gemstone of captivating blue-violet, is found in only one place on Earth. It comes from a tiny, 4 square kilometer patch of land in the Mialoni Hills of Tanzania, at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro. This extreme rarity is matched by its unique optical property called pleiochroism. Depending on which direction you look through the crystal, it can appear a vivid blue, a deep violet, or even a shade of burgundy. The cutter's art is to orient the stone in a way that shows the perfect blend of blue and violet to the world. Fact 19. Garnet is not a single stone, but a vast and ancient family of gems. While we often picture the deep, wine-red garnet, the family includes a dazzling spectrum of colors. There is the orange spessartine, the purple rhodolite, and the rare, brilliant green tsavorite, which rivals the emerald in its vividness. All these different gems share the same underlying crystal structure, but their chemistry, their ingredients, are different, creating a whole family tree of beautiful stones from a single mineral blueprint. Fact 20. Some gemstones possess a hidden, secret light. This is called fluorescence. Certain minerals, like fluorite or some diamonds, contain atoms that can absorb high-energy, invisible ultraviolet light. When this happens, the atoms become excited and, to release that extra energy, they emit their own light at a lower, visible wavelength. If you shine a UV light on one of these stones in the dark, it will suddenly glow from within, in an eerie, often electric blue or vibrant red. It is a light that is only visible when the world is dark. Fact 21. A gemstone's cut is not about its shape, but about its angles. The art of the gem cutter is to precisely angle tiny facets on the stone. These facets are designed to catch any light that enters the gem, bounce it around internally, and then reflect it straight back out of the top, or crown, of the stone. A well-cut gem will appear to blaze with internal light, while a poorly cut stone will look lifeless, allowing light to leak out of its back. Fact 22. The sparkle of a diamond is called fire. This effect, technically known as dispersion, is the gem's ability to act like a tiny prism. As white light enters the diamond, the crystal splits that light into its full spectrum of rainbow colors. These flashes of colored light are the fire you see, a phenomenon that diamonds, with their unique atomic structure, produce more dramatically than almost any other gemstone. Fact 23. Emeralds are famous for their inclusions, which are so common that they have a special, gentle name, the jardin, which is French for garden. These tiny, branching inclusions of other minerals, gas, or liquids are seen as a mark of the gem's natural origin and character. Unlike with other gems, a clean emerald is almost unheard of, and its garden is often a celebrated part of its unique beauty. Fact 24. Pearl is the only gemstone created by a living animal. It forms inside a mollusk, like an oyster or mussel, as a defense mechanism. When an irritant gets inside its shell, the mollusk patiently secretes layers upon layers of a substance called nacre, the same iridescent material that lines its shell. Over years, these thousands of concentric layers build up to form a smooth, luminous pearl. A cultured pearl is formed the same way, but the irritant is intentionally placed by a human. Fact 25. The ancient Romans believed that diamonds were tears of the gods or fragments that had broken off from falling stars. Roman soldiers would wear them as amulets, believing the gem's unmatched hardness would grant them strength, courage, and invincibility in battle. Fact 26. Aquamarine, the serene blue cousin of the emerald, was known as the sailor's stone. Its name is Latin for seawater. For centuries, sailors carried this gem on long voyages, believing it would calm the waves, protect them from storms, and ensure a safe return from the sea. Fact 27. Many of the most famous rubies in history were not rubies at all. The Black Prince's ruby, a massive, uncut red gem at the center of the British imperial state crown, is actually a giant spinel. Spinel and ruby form in similar conditions and are often found together, but spinel is a different mineral. True rubies are rarer and were often mistaken for their brilliant red counterpart. Fact 28. Turquoise, one of the first gemstones ever mined, has been cherished for over 6,000 years. The ancient Egyptians mined it in the Sinai Peninsula, and pharaohs like Tutankhamun were buried with intricate turquoise adornments. In ancient Persia, it was believed the stone's color would change to warn its wearer of impending danger. Fact 29. The rarest, most valuable form of opal is the black opal, found almost exclusively in the Lightning Ridge area of Australia. Its dark body tone, from grey to jet black, provides a dramatic background for the play of color, making the flashes of red, green, and blue appear more vivid and intense than in any other type of opal. Fact 30. The purple gem amethyst gets its name from the ancient Greek word amethystos, which means not intoxicated. The Greeks and Romans believed that the gemstone would prevent drunkenness, and they would often carve drinking cups from it or wear it as an amulet in the belief it would keep their minds clear. Fact 31. Zircon is the oldest mineral on Earth. Tiny zircon crystals found in Western Australia have been scientifically dated to be nearly 4.4 billion years old. This means they formed when the Earth itself was just an infant, only 100 million years after the planet formed. These tiny gems are the oldest known pieces of our planet's original crust, silent witnesses to the very beginning of our world. Fact 32. Some gemstones have a cat's eye effect, known as chatoyancy. This is created by light reflecting off a dense bundle of parallel, needle-like inclusions within the stone. When the gem is cut into a rounded dome, or cabochon, these inclusions create a single, bright band of light that moves across the surface as you turn the stone, exactly like the slit pupil of a cat's eye. Fact 33. Sunstone, a member of the feldspar family, contains tiny, flat, metallic inclusions, often of copper or hematite. These platy inclusions are all aligned in the same direction, and when light hits them, they glitter and flash, creating a sparkling, metallic sheen. This effect is aptly named aventurescence, or simply, Schiller. Fact 34. Ametrine is a rare, natural wonder of the quartz family. It is a single crystal that is part purple amethyst and part yellow citrine. This perfect split occurs due to a rare difference in temperature across the crystal during its formation. The different temperature zones cause the iron impurities within the quartz to oxidize differently, creating a perfect two-tone gem from a single crystal. Fact 35. Not all diamonds are colorless. Tiny impurities trapped in the crystal lattice can create diamonds of almost any color. Nitrogen atoms create yellow diamonds. Boron, a much rarer element, creates blue diamonds. Radiation from nearby rocks can turn a diamond green. And intense pressure that deforms the crystal structure can create pink and red diamonds, the rarest of all. Fact 36. The gem known as iolite, or cordierite, was once called the Vikings' compass. According to Norse legends, the Vikings used thin slices of this stone to navigate. Iolite exhibits strong pleochroism, meaning it appears a different color from different angles. By looking through the stone, they could determine the exact position of the sun, even on a cloudy or overcast day, allowing them to steer their longships across the open ocean. Fact 37. The vast majority of rubies and sapphires on the market are heat-treated. This is a stable and permanent enhancement that mimics natural processes. By heating the stones to very high temperatures, cutters can dissolve tiny silk-like inclusions, improving the gem's clarity and intensifying its color. This gentle, human-guided process completes the work that nature started. Fact 38. The Hope diamond, a massive 45.52 carat blue diamond, is famous for its curse, but its scientific properties are just as fascinating. It is a type IB diamond, meaning it contains boron, which gives it its blue color. It is also strongly phosphorescent. After being exposed to ultraviolet light, the diamond will glow a fiery, blood red in the dark for several seconds, a ghostly, unexplained property that only adds to its legend. Fact 39. Amber is not a mineral, but a biological gem, the fossilized resin of ancient trees. Because it began as a sticky liquid, it often trapped plants, pollen, and insects. Some of the most valuable pieces of amber contain perfectly preserved inclusions of insects that lived over 20 million years ago, offering scientists a perfect, tiny window into a prehistoric ecosystem. Fact 40. The largest diamond ever discovered was the Cullinan, found in South Africa in 1905. It was a colossal, 3,106 carat rough stone, about the size of a human heart. It was so large and clear that it was eventually cut into 9 major stones, many of which are now part of the British Crown Jewels. The largest of these, the Great Star of Africa, is over 530 carats. And sober. Fact 41. Some gems are formed by water. Opals are born when seasonal rains dissolve silica from sandstone and carry this solution deep into cracks and voids in the rock. As the water slowly evaporates over thousands of years, the silica is left behind, forming tiny spheres that stack into the structure that creates opal's play of color. Fact 42. The word carat, which we use to measure a gemstone's weight, has an ancient, organic origin. It comes from the carob seed, the seed of the Mediterranean carob tree. In ancient bazaars, these seeds were famed for their remarkably consistent weight and were used as a standard on balance scales to weigh precious stones. 1 carob seed equaled 1 carat. Fact 43. Lapis lazuli was once more valuable than gold. During the Renaissance, this deep blue rock was ground into a powder to create the pigment ultramarine. It was the most expensive, vivid, and light-fast blue pigment in existence, and painters like Vermeer saved it exclusively for the most important subjects, such as the robes of the Virgin Mary. Fact 44. Some gems form in the sky. When a meteorite strikes the Earth, the intense heat and pressure of the impact can melt the terrestrial rock at the impact site. This molten rock is thrown into the atmosphere, where it cools rapidly as it falls back to Earth, forming a natural glass called a tektite. Moldavite, a beautiful, moss-green tektite found in the Czech Republic, is the product of a meteorite impact that occurred nearly 15 million years ago. Fact 45. The cut of an emerald is named after the gem itself. The rectangular emerald cut with its cut corners was not designed just for beauty, but for safety. Emeralds are 7.5 to 8 on the Mohs scale, but their natural inclusions, the jardan, make them more brittle and prone to chipping than other hard gems. This cut removes the vulnerable sharp corners, making the gem more stable and durable for wearing. Fact 46. Sapphires do not have to be blue. Corundum, the mineral that makes sapphires and rubies, comes in every color of the rainbow. Any color of corundum that isn't red, which is a ruby, is called a fancy sapphire. These can be pink, yellow, orange, green, or purple. A particularly rare and prized variety is the Padprud Shah sapphire, a delicate, sunset-like blend of pink and orange. Fact 47. Garnet was the most widely traded gemstone of the late Roman world. Its name comes from the Latin word granatus, meaning seed-like, because the small, red, tumbled gems resembled bright pomegranate seeds. It was beloved by migrating barbarian tribes, and migration-era jewelry is famous for its intricate gold work inlaid with hundreds of tiny, glowing red garnets. Fact 48. The value of a diamond is determined by the 4 Cs: carat, cut, color, and clarity. Carat is its weight. Cut is the quality of its facets. Color is its lack of color, on a scale from D, colorless, to Z, light yellow. And clarity is its lack of internal inclusions, on a scale from flawless to included. A single, tiny flaw or a faint yellow tint can dramatically change a diamond's value. Fact 49. In ancient China, jade was considered the stone of heaven. It was believed to be a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, and was associated with purity, prosperity, and immortality. Emperors were sometimes buried in full suits made of thousands of jade plaques sewn together with gold thread, in the belief it would preserve the body and protect the soul in the afterlife. Fact 50. Some gems can be grown in a lab. Lab-grown gems, such as emeralds, rubies, and even diamonds, are not fakes. They are real gems with the exact same chemical, physical, and optical properties as their natural counterparts. The only difference is that their formation was not a geological accident over millions of years, but a controlled process in a laboratory that can take just a few weeks. Fact 51. A gemstone's luster is different from its fire or color. Luster is the way its surface reflects light. It describes how shiny the surface of the mineral is. Diamonds are said to have an adamantine luster, the brightest and most reflective. Rubies and sapphires have a vitreous or glassy luster, and pearls have a soft, pearly luster all their own. Fact 52. The world's largest cut aquamarine is the Dom Pedro. Weighing over 10,000 carats, it was cut from an even larger crystal found in Brazil. It was carved into a glowing, 14-inch tall obelisk by a master artist, who forcepped its back to create a stunning internal display of light. It now rests in the Smithsonian, a monument to the sea blue gem. Fact 53. The Star of India is one of the largest and most famous star sapphires in the world. It is nearly flawless and weighs over 563 carats. What makes it so unusual is that the star, or asterism, is visible on both the top and the bottom of the stone, a testament to the perfect, silky network of rutile needles that are trapped inside the crystal. Fact 54. Moonstone, a gem with a ghostly, floating blue sheen, gets its magic from its structure. The gem is made of microscopically thin, alternating layers of two different types of feldspar. As light enters the stone, it gets scattered and bent between these tiny layers, creating a soft, bluish-white glow called agularescence, which appears to move and shimmer just beneath the surface. Fact 55. Morganite, a soft pink to orange-pink gem, is a member of the beryl family, just like emerald and aquamarine. It was first discovered in Madagascar in 1910 and was named by the chief gemologist at Tiffany & Company in honor of his greatest patron, the famous financier and gem collector, J.P. Morgan. Fact 56. The ancient Egyptians had a deep spiritual connection to lapis lazuli, believing its deep blue color with golden flecks was a direct representation of the night sky and the heavens. They used it extensively in burial rituals, and the iconic blue eyeshadow seen in pharaonic art was often made from finely ground lapis lazuli powder. Fact 57. The Black Prince's ruby, the giant red spinel in the British crown, has a long and turbulent history. It was owned by a 14th century Moorish king before being taken by Pedro the Cruel of Castile. He then gave it to Edward, the Black Prince, as payment for his help in a battle. It was even worn by King Henry V at the Battle of Agincourt, where it supposedly saved his life by deflecting a blow. Fact 58. Spinel, for centuries, was the great imposter of the gem world, often mistaken for ruby. Today, it is prized for its own virtues. It comes in a stunning array of colors, from red and pink to deep blue and purple. Because it is a singly refractive gem, its color is often more pure and vibrant, lacking the secondary hues seen in doubly refractive gems like sapphire. Fact 59. Peridot, the green gem born in magma and meteorites, was called the gem of the sun by ancient Egyptians. They believed it protected its wearer from terrors of the night and evil spirits. Interestingly, many of the emeralds in famous ancient collections, including Cleopatra's, are now believed to have been peridots, which were mined on a small island in the Red Sea. Fact 60. Diamonds are the hardest natural substance on Earth, scoring a 10 on the Mohs scale. Graphite, the soft, grey material used in pencils, is also made of pure carbon, just like a diamond. The only difference is the arrangement of their atoms. A diamond's atoms are locked in a strong, tetrahedral lattice, while graphite's atoms are arranged in flat, weak sheets that slide apart easily. Fact 61. A gem's cleavage is its tendency to split along specific, flat planes of weakness in its atomic structure. This is a gem's Achilles heel. A diamond, while incredibly hard, has perfect cleavage in 4 directions. A sharp, well-placed knock can split a diamond cleanly in 2, a property that cutters use to their advantage, but wearers must fear. Fact 62. Topaz, in its pure form, is colorless. The warm, yellow, and orange-brown colors we often see are usually the result of color-stable heat treatments. The rare and valuable imperial topaz has a natural, pinkish-orange, sunset color. Even rarer is natural pink topaz, which is often found with a reddish pleochroism, making it look almost like a ruby from one direction. Fact 63. The rarest type of jadeite jade is not green, but a soft, translucent lavender. This lavender jade gets its color from trace amounts of manganese and is highly prized for its delicate, ethereal beauty. It is a quiet and subtle gem, valued for its gentle color and milky translucency. Fact 64. Turquoise is a porous gem, which means it can absorb liquids and oils. The natural oils from a person's skin can, over time, gently darken or change the color of a turquoise stone. This is why antique turquoise often has a deeper, more greenish-blue patina. It is a gem that ages and changes with its wearer. Fact 65. The ancient Persians had a beautiful myth for the origin of sapphires. They believed that the world rested upon a giant pedestal of sapphire, and that the sky itself was the reflection of this massive, brilliant blue stone. Fact 66. The gem fluorite is the origin of the word fluorescence. This mineral, which comes in a vast array of colors, is famous for its strong reaction to ultraviolet light. When placed under a UV blacklight, it will often glow with a vivid, electric blue. It was in this mineral that the phenomenon was first studied and named. Fact 67. The vast majority of emeralds are treated with a colorless oil or resin. This is a standard and accepted practice in the trade. The oil seeps into the tiny surface-reaching fissures of the jardan, making them less visible and improving the gem's apparent clarity. The oil can be removed or may dry out over time, which is why emeralds sometimes need to be re-oiled to maintain their beauty. Fact 68. The Star of Asia is one of the world's finest star sapphires, a 330-carat blue gem with a sharp, perfectly centered six-rayed star. It was once owned by the Maharaja of Jodhpur and is now housed in the Smithsonian Institution, a perfect example of the asterism phenomenon. Fact 69. Zorisite is a mineral that is usually an opaque, brownish green. However, in the Mialoni Hills of Tanzania, the presence of vanadium and high heat transformed it into the stunning, transparent blue-violet gem we know as tanzanite. It was a one-time geological miracle, creating a gem that is only found in a tiny, 4-kilometer-long area. Fact 70. A gem's crystal habit is the common or characteristic shape it grows in when it has unrestricted space to form. For example, diamonds grow as octahedrons, 8-sided, like two pyramids joined at the base. Emeralds grow as hexagonal prisms, 6-sided columns, and garnets grow as dodecahedrons, 12-sided spheres. Fact 71. Twinning is a common crystal growth phenomenon where two or more individual crystals grow together, sharing some of their crystal lattice points in a symmetrical, non-random way. This can create beautiful and unusual shapes, such as the spinel twin, a flat, triangular crystal that looks like a man-made shield. Fact 72. A gem that shows two different colors when viewed from different directions, like iolite, is called dichroic. A gem that shows three, like tanzanite, is called trichroic. This effect, known as pleochroism, is a valuable tool for gemologists to identify a stone, as it is a direct result of how the ordered crystal structure absorbs light differently along its various axes. Fact 73. The word ruby comes from the Latin word ruber, which simply means red. In the ancient world, before the science of gemology, any red gemstone was often called a ruby. This is why red spinels and red garnets were so often mistaken for their more valuable cousin. Fact 74. Citrine is the yellow variety of quartz. While natural citrine exists, it is very rare. The vast majority of citrine on the market is actually amethyst, the purple variety of quartz that has been carefully heat-treated. This heat changes the oxidization state of the iron impurities within the crystal, permanently transforming its color from purple to a warm, golden yellow. Fact 75. The Tiffany diamond is one of the largest and finest yellow diamonds in the world. It was cut from a 287-carat rough stone into a 128-carat cushion shape, but with 82 facets, 24 more than a standard brilliant cut. These extra facets were designed not to maximize its size, but to maximize its fire, making it sparkle as if it were lit from within. Fact 76. Phenomenal gems are those that display a special optical effect. This includes the star of a star sapphire, asterism, the eye of a cat's eye chrysoberyl, chatoyancy, the glow of a moonstone, agilorescence, the color change of an alexandrite, and the play of color of an opal. Fact 77. Pearls are graded on their luster. This is the quality and intensity of the light reflected from their surface. A high luster pearl will have bright, sharp reflections, while a low luster pearl will appear chalky or dull. This quality is determined by the fineness and uniformity of the nacre layers. Fact 78. Bloodstone is a dark, opaque green chalcedony, a type of quartz, that is speckled with bright red inclusions. These red spots are inclusions of iron oxide, or hematite. In the Middle Ages, this stone was given its name from the legend that the red spots were the drops of Christ's blood, which fell and stained the green jasper at the foot of the cross. Fact 79. Some gems are formed through regional metamorphism. This happens on a colossal scale when tectonic plates collide. The immense pressure and heat from this collision, deep within the Earth, can cause existing rocks to recrystallize over millions of years, forming entirely new minerals. Many of the world's most beautiful rubies, sapphires, and garnets are born in the heart of these forming mountains. Fact 80. The largest pearl ever found is not the round, lustrous gem you might imagine. The Pearl of Puerto is a 75-pound, 2.2-foot-long natural pearl that was found by a fisherman in the Philippines inside a giant clam. It is an enormous, irregular, porcelain-like mass, a testament to the strange and surprising treasures the living world can create. Fact 81. The jardan of an emerald can tell you where it came from. Inclusions are a gem's passport. Emeralds from Colombia, for example, often have three-phase inclusions. Tiny jagged cavities containing a saltwater liquid, a bubble of gas, and a small crystal of salt, all trapped together. This specific signature is a clear indication of a Colombian origin. Fact 82. A gem's specific gravity is its density relative to water. It is a crucial, non-destructive test for identification. For example, a diamond, 3.52, is much denser than a piece of quartz, 2.65, of the same size. A gemologist can use heavy liquids of known densities to see if a stone floats or sinks, allowing them to quickly narrow down what the gem might be. Fact 83. The ancient Greeks believed pearls were the tears of joy shed by the goddess Aphrodite as she was born from the sea foam. They associated the gem with love, marriage, and purity, a tradition that continues to this day, making pearls a classic choice for bridal jewelry. Fact 84. The Hope Diamond's red glow, its phosphorescence, is still a scientific mystery. It is believed that the combination of its boron impurities and exposure to UV light excites the electrons in its carbon lattice. The red glow is the slow, visible release of this captured energy. While the curse is a legend, the ghostly red light is a very real and very rare physical property. Fact 85. Tsavorite, the brilliant emerald green garnet, was only discovered in the 1960s in the Tsavo National Park area of Kenya. It gets its stunning color from vanadium, and unlike emeralds, it is often found with very high clarity, lacking a jardan. Its high refractive index gives it a brilliance and sparkle that often rivals that of a diamond. Fact 86. Some gems are formed in hydrothermal deposits. This occurs when superheated, mineral-rich water from deep within the earth is forced up through cracks in the crust. As this water cools, the dissolved elements can no longer be held in the solution and begin to crystallize on the walls of the cracks, forming veins of gems like tourmaline and some varieties of beryl. Fact 87. The color in amethyst is created by natural radiation. It starts as clear quartz with iron impurities. Over millions of years, natural gamma rays from the surrounding granite rock irradiate the crystal. This radiation excites the iron atoms, causing them to absorb different wavelengths of light, transforming the once clear crystal into a deep, regal purple. Fact 88. The Black Star of Queensland is a 733-carat black star sapphire, once thought to be the largest in the world. For years, it was used as a simple doorstop by the family who discovered it, unaware of the treasure they possessed. It was only when a gem expert noticed it that its true nature was revealed, a magnificent gem with a bright, six-rayed star. Fact 89. Not all garnets are red. The mandarin garnet is a type of spessartine with a brilliant, fiery orange color. Another variety, demantoid garnet, is a vivid green gem that contains unique, horsetail-shaped inclusions and has a higher dispersion, or fire, than even a diamond. Fact 90. Tenebrescence is a rare and magical property found in a few minerals, most notably hackmanite. These gems change color when exposed to sunlight. A pale lavender hackmanite, for example, can turn a deep, rich violet after just a few moments in the sun. When taken back into a dark room, it will slowly and visibly fade back to its original pale color, a process you can watch in real time. Fact 91. The aurora butterfly of peace is not a single gem, but a work of art made from 240 natural, colored diamonds. The diamonds, in all shades of the rainbow, blue, green, pink, orange, and yellow, are meticulously arranged in the shape of a butterfly. It is a modern masterpiece designed to showcase the incredible, natural color palette of the world's hardest gem. Fact 92. The Pasha of Egypt is a famous 43.8 carat diamond, notable for its unusual octagonal cut. Legend states it was originally owned by an Egyptian pasha and was part of a larger, 70-carat rough crystal. It was later purchased by Barbara Hutton, the Woolworth heiress, who wore it as a ring. Fact 93. The ancient Sanskrit name for ruby was Ratnaraj, which translates to King of Precious Stones. In ancient India, it was believed that rubies contained an unquenchable inner fire and that offering them to the god Krishna would ensure a favorable rebirth. Fact 94. The Star of Bombay is a 182-carat star sapphire, but unlike most, it is a deep, purplish blue. It was a gift from the silent film star Douglas Fairbanks to his wife, Mary Pickford. She later bequeathed the famous gem to the Smithsonian Institution, where it rests today. Fact 95. A gem's tenacity is its resistance to being broken or chipped, as opposed to its hardness, which is its resistance to being scratched. Jade is a perfect example. On the Mohs scale, it is only a 6.5 to 7, meaning it can be scratched by quartz. However, its tenacity is exceptional. Its internal structure is made of tough, interlocking, fibrous crystals, making it one of the most durable gems in the world, which is why it could be carved into thin, delicate tools and weapons without breaking. Fact 96. Kunzite, a beautiful, delicate pink to lilac variety of the mineral spargimine, was first identified in 1902. It has a unique property. It is strongly phosphorescent. After exposure to light, it will continue to glow softly in the dark. However, it is also known to be photosensitive, and its delicate pink color can permanently fade if it is left in direct sunlight for too long. Fact 97. The term carbuncle is an ancient name for any red, cabochon-cut gemstone, most often a red garnet. These gems were mentioned in the Bible and were said to be one of the 12 stones in Aaron's breastplate. They were fabled to glow in the dark, providing their own light, though this was likely just a poetic description of their deep, fiery red color. Fact 98. The Tully monster is not a gem, but a strange, 300-million-year-old fossil. However, the world's most famous collection of these soft-bodied creatures, from the Mason Creek fossil beds, was preserved inside nodules of siderite, an iron carbonate mineral. The mineral formed a hard, protective concretion around the soft bodies, preserving them in perfect, three-dimensional detail for hundreds of millions of years. Fact 99. The Inca emerald is a massive, 1,061-carat rough emerald crystal. Its deep green color and hexagonal shape are a perfect example of an emerald's natural crystal habit. It was once part of the treasure of an Incan temple in Peru, where it was worshipped as a sacred object, a gift from the gods. Fact 100. The color of a gem can be a map of its growth. This is called color zoning. As a crystal grows over thousands of years, the chemical composition of the solution it's growing from can change. If the trace elements that cause color run out and then reappear, the crystal will grow in layers of different saturation. A cut sapphire, for example, may show distinct, angular bands of dark blue and pale blue, a visible, frozen record of its own slow, interrupted birth.